Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the ASMG Back Pass podcast. This is episode number 8 for this spring season here in the UPSL. We're going to cover some hot takes from the Premier Division weekend. Not that many games this weekend. We had 3 of them, all of them covered by ASMG. And with only 3 games, you wouldn't think there's much that could happen, but it really has, with the results that have come out, has kind of caused a stir in the division table, and from the top, the battle for a title, playoff places, and then of course the fight against relegation. There's been a lot of movement, even with just these 3 games and the results there. So that really sets up things for this coming weekend. But let's get right into it. Starting with some of the results this weekend, we go with the first one. Georgia Athletic was hosting FC Columbus Elite. This is a game that was going to be an interesting one because Georgia Athletic have improved. They've done well this season, placed themselves in the playoff places already. FC Columbus Elite, very slow start to the season, have been playing well, but just haven't been getting the results. But they got the result this past Sunday, 2-0 defeat of Georgia Athletic away from home. A great result for FC Columbus because that takes them far, far away for the moment from the relegation zone, which they started in the beginning of the season when they couldn't get those results to go their way. But Daniel Asher has gotten his guys together there at FC Columbus down there at Otis Spencer, and of course away here at Discovery High School Stadium. Georgia Athletic, I think that didn't play badly in this game, but I think they lost their discipline late on. They started to worry a little bit more about the referee calls than they were about playing the game, and I think that hurts teams a lot of times. You know, you can let yourself down when you worry about a bad call, or you spend a lot of time trying to talk to the referee instead of coaching. And so I think that's a learning curve for Georgia Athletic. They have a good team. Coach Michele has done a lot in the past week. He's made some mistakes in the past season. And it looks like he's trying to recover those and get to that playoff spot that they missed by 1 point last season. So it remains to be seen what Georgia Athletic can do. FC Columbus have put themselves in a position where they could seriously entertain a playoff spot. So if they continue to get these positive results, it'll be something for them to look forward to in the postseason. We'll go to the next one. This is the one I was at. Potros traveled to, in this case, it was a Rock Springs Stadium. This is not the usual place for Soccer Saves Lives, SSL FC. This is a rescheduled match. Rock Springs not one of the better venues to play at, but it seemed to hurt SSL more than it hurt Potros. Potros were on point in this game, dominated from start to finish, and I think this really is the game of the weekend that shook up the division table more than any of the others, because Potros, who started the season dropping points, not playing badly, but just not in the same race with the title as North Georgia United and Kalanji Pro Profile. But now, after this result, and we'll see it in the league table a little bit later on, have put themselves in first place. And they've done that quietly and skillfully. I would say, as Georgia Conference manager, in dealing with all the teams, Potros FC, probably the most professionally run club in the division. And I think that translates to the field as well. I think that Christopher Ranga and his company there have really done a good job of organizing this team, and it makes them a formidable foe to anybody in this division. And they're getting the results now, and this is an emphatic victory for them. SSL, I think they're just going to struggle this season. They've improved over last season. I think that they can look forward to survival, but I'm not sure that they're going to be able to reach towards a playoff place. I think there's too much missing. I think Tony Tiente is going to have his work cut out for him to try to get any honors this season. But he's got a firm foundation started there, some talent to work with. I think it's just a matter of time there. Of course, the standout player here was Nazario Mbamio. This is an acquisition by Potros from last season. Mbamio played with Georgia Athletic last season. Just a really good attacking player. Has a nose for goal, and he got a brace in this game. and that brace has put him in a position atop of the Golden Boot table, which we'll look at a little bit later. But all around, great result for Portros. Shakes up the division table, puts them in first place, at least for now, with a game coming up against Kalanji on the weekend. That's going to be the game of the weekend. Kalanji Pro Profile dropped a second, but they have 2 games in hand. And this is a critical game coming up. And Larry, we will go over that with the spot when he previews the games for this coming weekend. But a lot to look forward to with Portros and Kalanji this coming weekend. So in the last game that we covered over the weekend, this is another broadcast by ASMG, was North Georgia. They traveled to Meadow Creek High School Stadium to play Lamino, Georgia. Again, another Lamino, Georgia, a promoted team from Division One, but not the first time they've been in Premier here in the Georgia Conference. They were a top-tier team. They actually took a couple of seasons off a few seasons ago, came back in Division One, and they ended up winning Division One, and so now they are trying to secure that playoff place, and took another step today with a 2-1 victory over North Georgia United, who appear to be in somewhat of a slump, still dropping points. They started out hot in this season, but unfortunately for them, in the last few weeks, actually ever since the Georgia Revolution game in the second half there, they haven't been the same. And I think Coach K is going to have to maybe do a reset with his players there. He definitely has the talent. He's got a great defense there at North Georgia. Attacking, is probably one of the better attacking forces in the league with Manuel Lum and Ronald Maradiaga, two players that are going to be challenging for the Golden Boot. And so it's just a matter of maybe mentally they need to get themselves together, reset. It's hard to play week in and week out in this division against this quality opposition. And especially if you start out in first place, you become the target for everybody. And today they just couldn't do it. They drop all 3 points against Lamino, Georgia. Still in a good position to challenge for the division title. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But really a tough loss for them because with the Portros win, it drops them down to third. And Jamex Leon and Juan Panagos really played well for Lamino, got the 2 goals to negate the Nicholas Huberty goal from the first half. So interesting result there. And still, both of those teams looking to secure not only a playoff place, but North Georgia is looking to try to keep that challenge going for the division title. So let's look at that league table there. We got, again, as I said, Potros on 17 points in first place. They topped Kalanji, who did not play this past weekend, and who have 2 games in hand at the moment. They've played 6 games, and Potros has played 8. And so it's a 13-game season, so plenty of twists and turns yet to happen here. But North Georgia, of course, they dropped down. They also are on 8 games, 8 games so far this season. And so they're really going to have to turn it around if they hope to challenge for the division title. It's still definitely within reach. There's enough games to do something about that. Same with Dalton United. Also on 14 points. A little shaky for Dalton. They're dropping points you wouldn't think they would drop, but they're still in contention there. Lamino, Georgia right there with Georgia Athletic. Again, like I said, with Athletic, much improved over last season on 12 points. Georgia Revolution right there with them. Just so you know, with how tight this table is, you have many teams on the same points. The first tiebreaker is going to be head-to-head. So an example of that was down with SSL and Fountain City down in the relegation zone. And here's a situation where they're on the same number of points. They tied in the game that they played against each other 2-2. So the next tiebreaker is goal difference, which SSL has a better goal difference. So there are a lot of different equations that can determine whether or not you make it into the relegation zone or not, make it into the playoff places, which is the top 8 teams in the division, and then, of course, for the division title. So every game counts. You need to win your games. You need to score goals, and you need to have a strong defense to keep out goals. So from back to front in your squad, you have to be on point if you hope to get honors in the Georgia Conference. So a whole host of teams in the mid-table there that are vying for those playoff places and also trying to stay out of the relegation race. And you see how tight it is, from the relegation spot to the first playoff spot is only 3 points. And so, from week to week, you can drop down or up with a victory. And that makes it exciting for the fans. It's great for the neutral, and it's great for ASMG to cover games like this. So it's all very good, all wonderful to look forward to. We'll take another look at the results from the weekend. Again, Georgia Athletic dropped to a 2-0 defeat to FC Columbus Elite SSL. Emphatic loss to Potros FC 5-1. And Laminio, Georgia, with a valuable 2-1 win over North Georgia United FC. A dent in the North Georgia attempt to get to the division title, first time in their club history. Pretty sure they're going to make the playoffs. Nothing is mathematical, of course, at this point, but they've shown enough in the squad to really do well, even if they don't make the division title this year. But it'll be something we'll have to keep an eye on there. And of course, we want to look at the Golden Boot race. And this is the one I was telling you, Mbamio with Potros done very well coming in. He's starting to score goals at will here. Had a brace this past weekend, which has pushed him above Emmanuel Lum in second place there from North Georgia on 11 points, 11 goals. Emmanuel on 9. His striking partner there, Ronald Maridaga, is just a goal behind him on 8, with Usman Fall from SSL on 8. Yip van den Nessen, he's still stuck on 7. And the thing about Yip is another great goal scorer for Dalton United. But he is not he's had a lot of duty with college, so he's not been available to Dalton for every game this season. And you wonder what he would be like if he was able to play every game there. But he should be a factor in Dalton United's own quest for a division title. Don't count them out just yet. So, and there's a whole host of players on 5 or lower. Most notably there, Thierry Jules with Kalanji per profile, formerly with Atlanta City. Did very well with them before they disbanded that club. Mark Bonneau with Portros, always a threat. It's Portros is turning into quite the attacking team now with Mbamio and Bonneau there. And they're solid from back to front as well. So a worthy team to go for the division title. And we'll have to see how they end out this season. So that's going to wrap it up for the hot takes and coverage from the past weekend of action in Georgia Premier. One note is that we're getting back to the set pieces podcast. That's the one segments where we do interviews with coaches, players from the Georgia Premier, or Division One for that matter. We'll have some that deal with the women as well, the women's division, which starts actually in a couple of weeks now. And then, of course, we have the Youth Academy coming up. We'll cover all that with interviews, with set pieces, with UPSL officials. But we did have an opportunity to sit down this week with Coach Tim Gilbert with Georgia Revolution. Great conversation I had with him. We talked a little bit, of course, about Georgia Revolution and their goals, what they're trying to accomplish in the UPSL. But we had an interesting discussion about the state of the game in the lower tiers here, whether it's UPSL, MPSL, and what that means for the players. Some of the things that are going right in the United States with development, and some of the things that are going wrong. And it's a conversation I think that we can take a little bit further in subsequent segments coming up. So you'll hear from him again. But look for this interview on our YouTube channel. It's ASMG TV. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and hit that notification bell, and you'll get notifications of anytime we release live match coverage. This back pass episode, we're going to return to the center circle soon, and we'll have Tim on that. And of course, we have the spot, which Larry Weaver does to preview the upcoming action. He should have an episode for you tomorrow. So hit that subscription button so you'll get that notification when that comes out. So thanks again for listening to the Back Pass. It's a joy to do this. We're getting to the compelling part of the season now, and we look forward to covering it all the way into the postseason. And we'll see who's at the top there. And we'll have another episode of the Back Pass coming to you next week. So until then, enjoy your time and get ready for another hot weekend of action in the UPSL Premier Division.